Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and I am about to take some books to the thrift store because I'm actually downsizing books. Can you believe it? And I thought it would be kind of fun to do an unhaul video. I'm doing it outside so you don't have to look at all the cardboard in my house because we're moving. So hopefully it won't be too loud out here, but we'll see. So I have a lot of like picture books and kids books and homeschooling books that I'm getting rid of, and I'm not really going to share those because I feel like that's not going to be very interesting to most of the people here. So I'm just going to share the other books that I have that I'm getting rid of, and there's still plenty of those to share too. So the first one, I guess this is kind of a homeschooling book, and it's Strange History. And this just has like really short chapters about like weird things that take place in history. I've had this book for like 2 years, and I picked it up at a thrift store and have never even opened it. So yeah, I decided it was time for it to go. I also have a book by Alexander McCall Smith. This is the Peppermint Tea Chronicles, and it's a 44 Scotland Street novel. Alexander McCall Smith also wrote the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, and I have like the first 7 books of that. And since this is so late in the series and I've never even read any of his books anyway, I decided to get rid of this. I got it from a little free library, so no real loss there. The next book that I'm getting rid of is The Pillars of the Earth. Oh, dropping books by Ken Follett, and I just hauled this book not that long ago. But some of you in the comments were telling me that it has some very graphic sexual content, in particular sexual assault, and thankfully a lot of you know me well enough to know that that's not something that I enjoy reading. Well, I mean, no one enjoys reading that, but I particularly try to avoid that. So thank you for those of you in the comments who told me that this had very graphic content in it. So I am just going to go ahead and get rid of it. I think it was either like free or 50 cents, but yeah, it's just kind of funny that I just got it and I'm already getting rid of it. So I mentioned this in my anti-TBR video, Made to Crave by Lisa Turkus. I have not read this. I got this from a thrift store probably 3 years ago. And I've never read any of her books, but I've just read little excerpts of some of her stuff online, and I don't think that like her writing style is my favorite, so I am getting rid of this one. Next, I have another little free library find. This is Bryant and May and the Bleeding Heart, and I guess Bryant and May is a series, and it's a cozy mystery, and I picked it up because I was like, hey, it's free and it's a cozy mystery, but I just kind of, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get around to it anytime soon, and I don't care enough to pack it. This one I actually got from my library because my library has like books out in front that you can just take rather than a library sale, and so I have In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I still have not read any Ruth Ware, and I picked this up because I had heard a lot of people talking about her books, and some people enjoyed some of them. I can't remember the title of the one I was seeing everywhere. I'll put the title here. But I read the premise, like the back of this, or at least part of it, and it sounds like it might be a little too creepy for me, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Another free book from my library is Small Steps by Takar, and he wrote Holes, which I still haven't read, but I watched the movie and enjoyed when I was a kid. And again, I haven't even read Holes, so I don't really know if I like his writing style, but it didn't seem like one I was going to get to anytime soon. If I did want to read it, I could always get it from the library. I don't really feel like I have to own it. This is one my daughter decided to get rid of, and it's the Nancy Drew Sleuth book. So it has like little tips on how to like identify fingerprints and analyze handwriting and all that kind of stuff. I don't think, it's not like you write in it or anything. It just kind of a cool book, but my daughter just decided she didn't want to hang on to it. I have The Road Back to You, which is a book all about the Enneagram, and I am interested in the Enneagram, but again, this is a book I picked up at a thrift store, and I had picked it up from the library and skimmed like my section because I was trying to figure out what number I was and could not for the life of me figure it out, because depending on which day I took the test, I would usually either end up as a 2 or a 6, but sometimes a 9. And reading this book did help me to figure out that I'm pretty sure that I'm a 2, wing 1, and identify my husband's type too, but I'm not a person who's like obsessed with personality stuff. I think it's really interesting and can really help you like understand how you relate to other people and why they relate so differently to you. And so that's something that I do really like about personality stuff, but I'm not invested enough in the Enneagram to keep this book. Also, do I have anyone else out there who like has researched Enneagram stuff and all of a sudden all these things about your spouse that you couldn't relate to actually made sense? Because that happened with me. My husband is a 5 and we could not be any more opposite in our approaches to literally everything. So that was kind of a cool thing, but also kind of funny. I feel like opposites attract in a lot of ways. I swear no one was out here doing yard work when I started this. It's not always the way though. We're just gonna deal with it. Okay, the next book I have is this lovely edition of The Wizard of Oz. It's hardcover. It's got lovely full color pictures and the dust jacket's sliding off. But like, I've read The Wizard of Oz and I just feel like it's not a great book. I mean, I guess it's, I don't know, it's a classic, so I feel like it's bad to say that, but like, I read it as an adult and I was super bored with it, and my daughter has absolutely no interest in reading it, so I'm totally fine just getting it from the library at some point if she wants to read it, or her never reading it. You know, it's, I don't know, sometimes you feel like you have to read certain books, or your child has to read certain books because like they're referenced so often in pop culture or whatever. But I didn't even see the Wizard of Oz movie until I was like 20, and I'm fine. I survived, so I'm sure she will too. Okay, I'm trying to change this for the lighting, and I don't know if this is better or worse, so I'm sorry. I'm not moving and I'm not starting over because I'm just not. So it's a lovely debris of leaves there, so enjoy. I have this book, A Journey to a New World, and this is a Dear America book. I actually hauled this at a thrift store, and I grew up and I remember reading this book as a kid, but I found at a little free library a hardcover edition of the exact same book. So I'm getting rid of this one and keeping the hardcover. Okay, and I have some really miscellaneous chapter books. I have these like rainbow magic fairy books that my daughter is kind of growing out of and doesn't want to keep anymore. Same with Ivy and Bean. And then this book, The Chocolate Touch, which is very similar to like King Midas, but everything this kid touches turns to chocolate. We got this from a little free library, and my daughter liked it okay, but not enough to keep it. I'm also getting rid of The Trumpet of the Swan. This is another book that I just found a hardcover version of it, so I'm just going to get rid of the paperback and keep the hardcover because it's a little more durable. This is a wonderful, wonderful book. It's by the same author who wrote Charlotte's Web, but it's much lesser known, I feel like, than Charlotte's Web or Stuart Little, probably because I don't know if there have been any like movies made of this, and if there are, they're probably really cheesy cartoon movies. So if you have not read this, even as an adult, I would really recommend this one. It's just really sweet and wonderful. So you guys have probably heard me mention the app Libib, and it lets you scan the barcodes or enter the ISBN numbers of your books. So then it will keep records of all the books that you have, and that is amazing and wonderful because then when you go to a thrift store, you can scan the barcode or search the title of a book that you're looking at and see if you already own it. Guess what? I didn't do that twice. This one was because I didn't have a signal, so my app wasn't working, and I couldn't remember for the life of me whether or not I had letters from Rivka. This one was a book outlet purchase, so yeah, but the edition I got from a book outlet is just a little prettier than this one. There's a train. Why am I trying to film outside? This is just a bad idea. I should probably just wait till it's over. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm almost done, so I'm going to finish this up, even though that weed whacker is so loud. It's quieter than the train, though. So anyways, Journey to the Center of the Earth. I got the Puffin Classic version, which was just a little nicer than the Signet Classic version. So yeah, so I'm unhauling this. But yeah, I have some other picture books and school books and other things that I'm getting rid of too, but I felt like those weren't probably as interesting to booktube as all of the other books that I just shared. So anyways, this is my first unhaul video that I've ever done, so let me know if you liked seeing this, although don't get used to seeing it because I don't unhaul books all that often. I probably declutter my books maybe once a year, but I usually don't get rid of nearly as many books as I did this time. The only reason I did is because we're moving, and just, you know, when you have to pack things up, you prioritize a little bit better than you might otherwise. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like, and I'd also love it if you would subscribe, and I will see you again next time.